the show where the game comes alive. Breaking down the plays, we keep the spirit high. From the field to the mic with passion and flair. It's the Play Action Podcast, your ultimate fanfare.
Welcome to the first episode of the Play Action Podcast. Thank you for joining. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to us. I'm here, Brandon, one host, and then I got my co-host Colin over there.
What's up? What's up? Man, we got a lot to talk about today, man. Obviously, the NBA offseason. Got to talk about OKC. Got to bring up the Lakers because I don't know what's going on with them. And then, you know, there's a bit of, I just want to talk about what J Mac from the Herb Podcast was talking about Cooper Flagg over anybody. And then we'll talk about a little bit about the WNBA because WNBA got to give a lady some love. And we finish up with the NFL because, you know, ESPN released their top 12 quarterbacks. It's got the whole world on fire about the order. And so I got to know what your thoughts are, man. But we're going to start off with OKC. And do you think that Oklahoma City Thunder, I mean, they just won a championship, great team. I mean, from top to bottom, they're a great team, second youngest ever. However, are they the clear favorites to repeat? And do you think they can become a dynasty?
Well, to be honest with you, with Halliburton, Tatum, Lillard, all getting Achilles tendons injuries, and then with the lack of movement in the West Coast, I honestly see them repeating just off the injuries and lack of competition. And then with the uncertain future of Denver and Joker, I'm real high on Joker, pun intended. But Murray, Joker, and Gordon, I really, really like that core. But Joker is 1 foot out the door. So it's a possibility that team disperses and breaks up, especially with their coach getting fired last season. That was atrocious. Yeah, I didn't understand that. So I feel like the uncertainty with that team speaks a lot. So OKC, yes, I feel like I'm real big on OKC repeating and possibly starting off the process of a dynasty. I was talking to another one of my friends recently, and they brought up we didn't understand that. Well, we didn't really feel like early on with Steph Curry that his style of play could win championships, but we was obviously proven wrong.
Very
multiple championships. And with SGA, he's still at the early stages of his career. And with that mid-range jumper, ability to get to the free throw line, and overall command of the offense, it's going to get nothing but get better moving forward. So I feel like their future is bright, and they have the possibility of starting a dynasty. So please.
I'm with you. There's nothing that's going to stop them from winning again, even though I guess my only knock against them would be they have a tendency of just playing up to their opponent's competition level. You know, we saw that against Indiana. I think they were twice as talented as Indiana, but Indiana, the way they play with that fastball. But I'm with you. I think OKC is easily the clear favorite to win again. I think the only thing that will stop them is what you were saying with Joker. However, with Joker, 1 foot out the door, what would keep him? A championship team, right? What if they decided to trade the farm for another superstar who also has possibly 1 foot out the door? It's the same thing. We'll see, and that's Giannis. What if Joker and Giannis either meet up in the East, in Milwaukee, most likely in the West in Denver? They already got rid of Michael Porter Jr. They got Cam Thomas from Brooklyn, which I think was a I would not gonna say an upgrade because I think Michael Porter Jr. is a pretty good player and Cam Thomas has injury issues. But if they were able to get Giannis with Cam Thomas and Joker, you don't need facilitators because Joker 10 assists a game, Giannis 6-7 assists a game, Cam Thomas is gonna sit there and just shoot. Add a couple of other shooters. then I would say OKC does not have a chance to become a dynasty. Repeat, sure. Dynasty, I think that team, Joker, Giannis, does that sound like science fiction? We talking Star Trek, Star Wars here? What do you think?
I'm sold on that. That would be a ridiculous lineup. I've heard rumors of Giannis going to the West as well, because with the firing of his coach, and you brought it up, both of them are in similar situations where they fired their. Maybe I'm showing my age because I'm not saying I'm old, but I feel like I'm kind of young. But I don't remember the Denver Nuggets in my lifetime ever winning a championship. Was that their first championship?
It was.
Yes. And that was Milwaukee's first championship, if they ever won one in ages.
Oh, yeah,
So,
yeah, not in ages. They won with
ages. Yeah.
with Kareem.
Yeah,
Listen.
with Kareem back in the day.
Yeah.
But that was before I was born.
Me too.
so that's the first time I remember them winning the championships in decades. And they fired both of their coaches, so that didn't make any sense to me. And so they're both in similar situations. But I did hear rumors of Giannis going to play with Steph. So that would be a weird situation because it's like, how much help are we going to give these guys? They gave them KD, a prime KD. Now we get Giannis. Come on, bro. What is going on? Oh, speaking of not OKC or the Warriors and former Warriors players, I'm just I'm curious to see what you feel like. Have you seen Klay Thompson's latest acquisition?
You talking about Megan Thee Stallion?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, yeah. And I seen the video showing Clay's kind of like, it looks like he's trying to roll back the clock a little bit by becoming the player he used to be. And so here's a question, non-sports related. But let's just say Klay Thompson does make that transition back to the old Klay. I don't think he can ever go all the way back because he's only getting older, right?
No.
But he has low miles because he's had some injuries. He hasn't really played that hard. But if he rolls the clock back, is Megan Thee Stallion going to be the anti-Kim Kardashian? Because Kim Kardashian ruins careers. And if Megan Thee Stallion can start reviving them, man, we may have an influx of female rappers dating NBA players who going through.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I am totally here for it because I believe Glorilla has shot her shot at Damian Lillard. She's been trying to bark up that tree for a long time now. She's been trying to jump up on that.
They both look.
But also, exactly. But I did hear. Did you see Draymond Green's comment on the Klay Thompson situation? She said, Draymond Green commented on Instagram. He mentioned Megan Thee Stallion does like shooters. Hey, that's a real Draymond Green comment, but
Damn. I mean, you can take it two ways. Gunshots and then a WAP song, Either way, she likes shooters.
Either way, she likes shooters. It was hilarious to me. It was hilarious. But I'm sorry, Megan. No shots taken at you.
No disrespect.
No disrespect.
We're fans.
No disrespect.
We're fans.
Yeah, we're fans. We're
sure.
fans. Trust me.
And of Klay Thompson too. We're fans of Klay.
We're big fans of Klay. But
yes,
a joke is a joke, and that was a good one. That was a good one.
That was a good one. All right, staying with the NBA. Now we got to go to the Lakers, kind of staying in the West. I've heard a lot of different stuff about DeAndre Ayton. I'm a huge fan of the move that the Lakers got with DeAndre Ayton. I think that's the best center that they're going to have since Dwight and Kobe Dwight. Not later Dwight, not bubble Dwight, but Kobe Dwight era. I think Ayton's going to go and be a good acquisition. He's not the ideal rim runner, but he's a decent defensive player. He's a double-double guy. I mean, he's averaged a double-double his entire career, including his rookie season. which is weird. I see a lot of big men only averaging like 3, 4, 5 rebounds a game. He's averaging a solid 10 easy. What do you think of? You think? Well, I'm gonna tell you, do you think DeAndre Ayton extends the window for LeBron with Luka, or is it just a piece to add to Luka after LeBron leaves?
I feel like it's both. With with Aiden, I don't. My biggest question with this situation is when Anthony Davis asked for this, why couldn't you make this move a lot sooner? He asked for a center a long time ago. So I feel like this move is long overdue. LeBron definitely needs a big man. But speaking of Anthony Davis, I did hear rumors of possibly LeBron coming to the Mavs.
I heard that too. I heard that too.
That.
Doesn't
Clay,
make sense though.
Kyrie, LeBron, reunite situation. I'm kind of okay with that. I've also heard about rumors of LeBron going to Cleveland, back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
And with that squad, that's a pretty good squad. And the East is wide open right now.
Yeah. So
playoff LeBron could do playoff LeBron because the East, I believe his biggest competition would be the Knicks in Boston, and Jaylen Brown is not going to beat LeBron. Jaylen Brown is not going to beat him. He's not going to beat him. I love Jaylen Brown, but he's not going to beat LeBron, a 42-year-old LeBron. No chance in the playoffs. So I feel like it's a couple of situations that with the Lakers, if they keep LeBron, Aiden's a good addition. If they decide to move on from LeBron and Aiden and Luka, that's a good situation as well.
I agree. I think it is for both. However, I think LeBron, if he leaves, I don't think he goes to Dallas because Nico Harrison, as much as it was controversial when he let Luka go, which made no sense. He basically traded Luka for a pack of cigarettes and some chips, but then he landed the first overall pick. And the way Nico, he's standing on business, like, hey, we're trying to build a defensive team. We're trying to da-da-da-da-da-da. I don't think he'd ever want to admit he was wrong in trading Luka by getting LeBron. Because LeBron and Cooper play the same position. And if you want to develop Cooper, you don't bring LeBron. So I don't think LeBron's going to go to Dallas. Going to Cleveland, you'd have to give up too much for the Cleveland. Because Cleveland's like in there. Cleveland, you look at Cleveland and OKC, they're not that different. Matter of fact, I would say if you put them both up against each other, I would say Cleveland may have more offense and OKC has more defense. Because Donovan Mitchell and what he does and how much attention he draws. I don't know if they can take him. I'm a Knicks fan. I mean, you can see my Giants up in the back. I'm from New York. I love the Knicks even when they suck. Love the Giants when they suck. I'm over here sweating thinking about it. I think if he went to the Knicks and he won a championship with the Knicks, it would be a star and a black smudge on his career, right? But I think if you win in New York, because we haven't won since '72. It's a But and we have the assets to give up. We can give up Karl Anthony Towns to be a power forward to DeAndre Ayton. You can give up, I don't know, probably a couple other assets and a draft. We don't have too many draft picks. We kind of do the Lakers did. We traded 5 draft picks, 5 firsts for Mikal Bridges. So we're kind of with the Lakers and the Rams and F them picks. But if we were able to put a package together, would it be enough to win a championship? It would be enough to get out of the East and go to the finals. Is it enough to push them over to beat OKC or beat if Denver decides to reload with Giannis? Who knows? I don't think it's enough, but I think LeBron stays where he's at unless he gets traded. Unless Pelinka says, we're done with you, we're moving on. Luka's our guy, and we're gonna. If you can get enough assets back, and it would be smart for the Lakers if they can get rid of LeBron for exchange for Mikal Bridges and Karl Anthony Towns for the salaries to work. The Lakers get younger, and I believe they get better, and I believe the Knicks also get better by adding LeBron James to that group of playmakers. Brunson doesn't have to run the show so much. Josh Hart can be Josh Hart. Mitchell Robinson can literally just be a rim runner like he's been. And then you've got a couple other players, Deuce McBride's going to have to step up a little bit. They just signed Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole's going to have a bigger role, which I don't think Jordan Poole's ever met a shot he didn't like. So I think it would be good for them. But at the same time, if nothing happened, is kind of what I'm expecting. I don't know, what do you think?
I feel like LeBron to the Knicks would be epic. Must see TV.
Talk about it.
And then also just moving forward, because his days are limited.
Oh yeah.
With his career, and a farewell tour in Madison Square Garden would be epic.
Super
epic.
What if you got LeBron patched with Bronny? Because you better patch him with Bronny, because the Lakers will probably cut him. You win the Bronny.
Yeah.
Probably just
Yeah.
Not that Bronny is trash. I said, and just quick second, I've said Bronny, the way he plays like Donovan Mitchell without a jump shot. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, not that Bronny can't shoot, but he doesn't have the green light like Donovan Mitchell. But he's got a similar body. He's really, really strong. I mean, you saw him one-on-one against Cooper Flagg, and he didn't give up any ground. Right? He was able to play right with that number one pick. And again, I'm not putting Bronny up there, but he has got all the athleticism to be a contributor. But he doesn't have that Donovan Mitchell where you can be a super. Donovan Mitchell, he's only 6'3", but he's got insane athleticism. Bronny's got great athleticism. I mean, he's a 40-inch guy as well. But Donovan Mitchell, he's got that little bit more of dog, where I think Bronny's going to have to develop that, because he didn't have to have it growing up, right? I mean, when you're the son of, arguably one of the top players of all time, right? I mean, how much dog? But anyway, moving off past that, staying with Cooper Flagg, J-Mac from the Herd podcast, Colin Cowherd was off for the day, so J-Mac was running it, and he asked Chris Broussard, who I have a huge respect for Brew, if you had a chance to take, for the next 7 years, start a franchise, would you take SGA or Cooper Flagg? Okay, now, heads up, J-Mac said Cooper Flagg is the clear-cut choice. In other words, he argued that it didn't even make sense not to take Cooper Flagg over SGA. I lost my mind listening to it. Your eyeballs are telling me the same thing. Bro, what is he on? I'm getting more sweaty just thinking about it.
Unproven rookie. Yeah, he looks pretty good in college against college players. He hasn't played against grown men.
Right.
So, and a proven MVP, Finals MVP, champion, you're going to take him long term over MVP champion? Can we drug test him, please? Can we see what's going on?
Led the league in scoring? I mean...
Exactly.
This ain't... he averaged over a block a game in the finals. So he plays defense, too. At a point guard position. Complete package. And he's 6'6". He ain't a 6'1" point guard. He's a 6'6", well, Cooper's, 6'7.5", barefoot.
Yep.
Cut it out.
He can guard him. He's not Kyrie that you got to hide on defense.
No. And I think Cooper Flagg, I mean, he's got the ability to be a superstar, sure. But right now, what I see him as, he's not that much different than when Gordon Hayward came out. Not to compare two white guys. I don't want to do that. But in terms of like a guy who's 6'8", who can shoot, pass, rebound, defend. Right? And I think if Gordon Hayward didn't go to Utah, if he went to L.A., Boston, New York, Chicago, a big market, we would know more about Gordon Hayward, because Gordon Hayward was a dog. Gordon Hayward was a effing dog.
Pre-injury, Gordon Hayward was a dog.
Big time,
Dog. So,
but I'm not taking him over SGA, right?
No.
I'm not taking him over SGA, even though he's... And to me, I see Cooper... Now, could Cooper Flagg transcend Gordon Hayward? He's got a long way to go to do that before you even say, I would take him to start a damn franchise with. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So J-Mac, I love you, man. I love Colin Cowherd, but I need you to stop. Okay, we're cooking here, and it's going to my Knicks. My bad. Going to my Knicks. Two things. One, the first one is Mike Brown. Is he the right coach for the Knicks? The Knicks famously fired their head coach who took them to the Eastern Conference Championship. The first time that the Knicks been in the Eastern Conference Championship for 25 years. Back-to-back 50-win seasons. Proven head coach. Players love him. Jalen Brunson grew up with him. His dad, Rick Brunson, was real close with Tom back in the day. Tom knew Jalen when he was a child. Now you hire Mike Brown, who has coached LeBron James, Kobe. You name the Hall of Famers, he's coached them. He knows how to coach stars. What do you think after the Knicks fumbled all the first four choices with Jason Kidd and Ime Udoka and them, then settled on Mike Brown?
I believe you just said it. Settling with Mike Brown. They had to settle.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this situation is the Knicks being the Knicks. We've always questioned their upper management decisions, and unfortunately, they made another Knick type decision. Because
Tell me about it.
but at the same time, Thibodeau was making some questionable decisions in the playoffs, like only playing 6 players. Like, bro, you are running these guys into the ground. What are you doing? Yeah, like, come on, bro. Like that right there, that was kind of some questionable stuff. Like, what's going on, bro? Talk to me. Let me know. It didn't make sense. So I can understand how it was some uproar in New York about the handling of that situation. But at the same time, like you just said, he got y'all to the Eastern Conference Finals the first time since Latrell Sprewell and Allen Houston and Charlie Ward
baby.
was there. Yeah, those were my boys. But like, that's the first time you guys have gotten that deep in the playoffs in a long time. So to fire him off of I would say a productive good season is questionable at the least. But unfortunately, we talked about that recently. It's something about that New York sports management, like the Jets and the Knicks, real questionable. Real questionable.
Oh yeah. But I think the only issue I really have with this is I get the coaching change because it is possible we're only going to go so far with a coach. Because you look at Golden State where Mark Jackson set him up. Steve Kerr comes in, wins a championship, right? Was it Paul Westphal with the Lakers? And Phil Jackson comes in first year, wins a championship. Same thing with when he was with the Bulls. I remember who the coach was with the Bulls before Phil Jackson got there. Phil Jackson comes in to win a championship. I don't think we're going to have a coach like that unless we're going to get someone, I guess, who is a innovative offensive mind. Like, I think Ime Udoka is a phenomenal coach, innovative, inspire, and he's a leader of men. Tom Thibodeau is definitely a leader of men, and he's got a very, very stout defensive philosophy. However, offensively, I don't know if he's developed himself as much. So when they fired him, it bothered me. But it bothered me even more that it didn't seem like they had a plan moving forward, because Jason Kidd's never going to leave the Mavericks without a guaranteed job from the Knicks. Like, I'm not going to go and interview, because if you don't pick me, how do I go back to the Mavericks? I can't go back to the Mavericks. It doesn't make any sense. So I think that hurts me the most. So, but hiring Mike Brown is a winning coach. He's been fired a lot of times, but maybe because he's abrasive, I can deal with abrasive. But he does have winners. So staying with the Knicks, they're looking at one of your least favorite players, Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons has been linked to the Knicks over the past week or so. And I know he's only averaged 5 points a game last year, but he's had a lot of injuries,
physical
and whatever. He's 6'10" point guard. Could he still contribute to a playoff team? Your silence is deafening.
He could come in and play defense for Jalen Brunson. I believe he can come in and play defense for Jalen Brunson at the end of the game. That's as much faith as I got in him. But then again, you can't even bring him in to play defense in crunch time situations because you're gonna have to like take a timeout as soon as you get the ball because he's gonna be afraid to take a free throw.
Yeah.
So it's like the Ben Simmons project should have been aborted, punted years ago. Like, yeah, you're a 6'10" point guard that is afraid to shoot, is afraid to lay up because you don't want to get to the free throw line. Like, I don't understand why he's still in the NBA. Yeah, that's the nicest thing I can say about him. I'm sorry. That's the nicest thing I can say about him. I'm sorry.
You know, all I can do as a Knicks fan is hope that he worked on his free throw game and he worked on his midi. You know, if you can work on your midi, I don't need you to be a 3-point shooter. Just, you know, beat DeMar DeRozan. You know, play tall defense, get into 8 to 13, 14 feet, and just pull the trigger. Because you're 6'10", you can get your own rebound. I mean, when you're shooting from 8, 10 feet away, man, you can go and crash the board yourself. Just go and take your shots. You're going to have plenty of wide open shots. Take your shots. You're going to make half of them anyway. Just trust in yourself. That's what I'm saying as a Knicks fan. If I'm not a Knicks fan, man, Ben Simmons, you need to go get a job at Amazon. You know, because there's probably packages really high that they can't reach, and you can definitely reach them. But as a fan, please, and we sign them, please work on your jumper.
Whoever is his sports psychologist needs to go get their degree again, because this is like it's been going on 4 or 5 years. This is atrocious.
You ain't shit.
He's still in the NBA. Like, you're afraid to shoot, and you're a guard. It doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Like, when you said midi, I was like, he's not shooting no mid-range jumpers. Like, he will barely want to shoot a layup.
Hey, you know
it's ridiculous.
He should go to Golden State when Draymond gets ready to retire, because he's 10 years younger than Draymond.
Yeah.
Draymond can't really shoot. Now, granted, Draymond's a defensive savant. It's a little different. But Ben Simmons can play defense.
But Draymond will shoot. We don't want him to shoot threes, but Draymond will shoot threes.
Yes, you don't want him to shoot. And I don't want Ben Simmons to shoot either. But if he can definitely dictate the offense the way Draymond does. Draymond, that's one thing he offers.
Oh, yeah.
Offensively, he can't score the bucket like, obviously like Steph, Clay, and not many people can. But he facilitates the offense in a way that Steph doesn't have to carry the ball. And I think Ben Simmons can offer that to another team. He just has to learn how to shoot. If he just shoots free throws, don't even shoot. Just shoot free throws well. You'll have a career as long as you want in this league. Especially 6'10" with that kind of... I mean, come on now. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. But we got to see it happen. And I don't have too much faith in this young man, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of like the mindset for most sports fans. All right, going to the WNBA. I'm not going to say the two best players, but the two most high-profile players. I don't know why Asia Wilson's not the most highest-profile player, but Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese seem to get the most burn, right? When it comes to like people talking about it, especially Angel Reese right now, she's in a little thing with RG3 and Shaq, and we're not going to talk about that. I don't think that's really newsworthy. I think it's just a bunch of nonsense. But what I think is serious, though, was Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese being, the kind of like the faces of the WNBA right now. I kind of think back to early in the NBA days, back in the 70s and 60s, 70s, and up into the 80s, where the NBA was, I'm not going to say unwatchable, but it wasn't exciting. I mean, you had a couple players out there, obviously Wilt, but you didn't have as much media coverage, so no one got a chance to see how great Wilt was. No one got a chance to see how great Pistol Pete Maravich was, or Jerry West was, or Bob Cousy was, even though they were phenomenal. And if you look at them statistically, still leading the leagues. But it wasn't until this lanky kid, drafted the Lakers, out of Michigan, another lanky kid drafted the Celtics, in Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, respectively, that made the NBA watchable, made it exciting. You brought Showtime, you brought this this trash talking white kid into Boston who is unstoppable, right? And you got this smiley kid there in L.A. who's also unstoppable, and it saved the NBA. And stars talk about that saved the NBA. Is Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese the equivalent of that Magic Johnson and Larry Bird to save the WNBA? Well, not save it, but they've been around for over 25 years, and they haven't necessarily been profitable so much until last year. Is this going to push them over the edge to where this is our new Magic and Bird?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think absolutely. Caitlin Clark has brought a whole new audience to the WNBA. We just recently saw that the WNBA has announced that they're doing an expansion. I believe by 2028 they're adding three more teams.
Yeah.
Me personally, I feel like Caitlin deserves a percentage in those teams, but hey, that's here to say. But Caitlin Clark is definitely increased the exposure of the game. She's doing some things that we only seen Steph do.
Yep.
Shooting from that distance is impressive. I like what Angel Reese has been doing, stepping into like the villain role, and her with her merch line with the Me Bound. Everybody's making fun of her getting X amount of rebounds from her misses, but she's getting the rebounds and she's getting the stats and she's getting the points now. So it's like she's stepping up, and I have nothing bad to say about either one of those individuals. And then you see Angel Reese. Well, how can I say this? Angel Reese is a pretty girl, and she is getting the exposure of a pretty girl on social media. And I'm not saying that there wasn't pretty girls before Angel Reese in the WNBA. I feel like Angel Reese is the first social media star of
outspoken
the WNBA. And yes, exactly, outspoken and really leaning into her femininity. Like she embraces her pregame outfits, hair, nails, the aesthetics of being Instagram baddie. And unfortunately, to her detriment, sometimes people bring that up as like a negative thing. But she's a woman. She's allowed to look nice and do herself up. And I feel like that has increased the exposure because she's been everywhere with endorsements, different endorsement deals. That's kind of what led to the whole RG3 thing with the with the two NBA 2K cover. That was to my knowledge, that's the first time I remember a woman being on the cover of NBA 2K as a video game.
Correct.
So that's impressive. So both stars, and we see Caitlin Clark with the State Farm commercials, shooting from the logo.
Yes,
that's amazing.
Commercials. Those are great commercials.
Yeah, exactly. I personally like those, and that's impressive. Shooting from the logo. We got that term from Steph Curry, shooting from the logo.
Yeah,
and that both, I believe, yes, I agree with you. Both stars are doing what Magic and Bird did in the late 80s, early 80s, late 70s. I believe this is where we're entering that right now, because WNBA, like you said, this is the first year being profitable, and that's impressive because they've come a long way. It's been like they've been in existence for like 25, I believe, 25 years.
Yep, 26 years I think now. I'm with you. I think that this is definitely a turning point, but the WNBA needs to take advantage of this and not just putting out a bunch of commercials, but I think they need to really start highlighting the personality these players have, because you've got folks out there like A'ja Wilson. She's the best player in WNBA, and she's one of the greatest players in history, and she's not even done playing yet. And I think they need to go and put her up there more. Get Paige Bueckers up there. Sabrina Ionescu was Caitlin Clark before Caitlin Clark. She didn't get the same burn as time as TV time as Caitlin Clark did, but she was shooting from the logo, dishing, swishing and dishing. I think WNBA needs to go and highlight some of these personalities a little more so we get familiar with who they are. It's the same problem that the NFL has, where you just see a bunch of guys with helmets on. You don't really know, unless you're an NFL junkie like we are. You couldn't tell who this or who that is by just their face because they're constantly wearing helmets. WNBA, they don't have the viewership yet. Promote these ladies. They're working hard. They're some of them are really good players. I mean, players back in the day, like we were talking about Bob Cousy and Pistol Pete. Yeah, got ladies like Tisha Penicheiro for Sacramento. Behind the back passes. I mean, crazy stuff that the league just wasn't ready for at that time. There are players like that today. Put them on TV, put them on commercials. Let us see how skilled they are, because the WNBA is not just fundamental basketball like the NBA used to be also. There's a little bit of flash and dash. There's not a lot of high-flying dunks and things like that. But in terms of flashy basketball that we like watching playing, I mean, when you watch Golden State, you don't see a lot of dunks there either. Right? They're not sitting there throwing down some alley-oop dunks. No, it's them crazy passes, Draymond with crazy defense, crazy pass, Steph shooting from the low. Highlight that stuff, and you might get the audience that should be watching this. Ladies, I'm talking to you. Watch the WNBA, not just the NBA. Okay? The NBA supports the WNBA. Why don't ladies support the WNBA? We're supporting them. You should too. Anyway, enough of that. Moving on to NFL news. This has been in the news for the past 2 weeks. You already know what I'm about to say. ESPN released their, well, not the 2 weeks, but Pro Football Focus also released a list. But the latest one is ESPN released their top 12 quarterbacks. I'm going to list them all out in order. And there's been a hot contention regarding where does Hurts land, where does Daniel land, and where does Burrow land, surprisingly. So the top one, number 1 through 12, Mahomes, no surprise. Josh Allen, reigning MVP, that's fine. Joe Burrow. Then Lamar Jackson. Number 5, Jaden Daniels. Below Jaden Daniels, number 5, is Matt Stafford, Justin Herbert, Goff, Jalen Hurts, Baker, C.J. Stroud, and then rounding out the top 12 is Jordan Love. I will give my 2 cents after you give your 2 cents, because I might change my 2 cents, because I don't know what the heck this list is doing.
I'm going to have to agree with some of this list. And, me being, the Ravens, a big Lamar fan, as you were reading this off, in our previous conversation, I had to think about it, and I had to be real. These last couple seasons with the Ravens in the playoffs, I've thrown some things. I've gotten so upset. And I have to be real. Burrows has gotten to the Super Bowl. Lamar hasn't.
But Burrow hasn't been in the playoffs the past couple of years.
I understand, but we understand with the situation with Burrow's defense, he doesn't play defense. So his stats have been outrageous. And we're talking about strictly quarterback play.
True.
And I get you what you were just saying. Oh, because I'm bringing up Super Bowl and not strictly quarterback play. But that quarterback play has gotten Burrows to the Super Bowl.
True.
And Lamar's quarterback play in the playoffs has been kind of lacking to me. So, and I'm a Lamar Jackson fan. Action Jackson to the fullest. Hometown, Boynton Beach, Delray Beach, we right there. So that's my boy. But yeah, and then the only other the major gripe I have is Herbert and Goff over Hurts.
Yeah, that's my problem too.
And then we got Jaden Daniels over Hurts.
Yeah.
Like, I understand Jaden Daniels I understand he went deep into the playoffs last year, and that's why we're putting him on this list because he's a rookie. He had a good season, but in that same thought process, how do you put him over the person that had the best playoff run last year? Like Hurts won the Super Bowl. That doesn't make any sense to me. So yes. Now Stafford being better than Hurts, both of them have one chip, and I have been a fan of Stafford's arm since he came out of college.
Yeah.
So I have no problem Stafford being above Hurts, even though I'm a Hurts fan as well. He's a natural born winner. Every place he's gone, he's won, and that's my biggest gripe. Hurts, Golf and Herbert over Hurts, and then Jaden Daniels, atrocious take. The rest, Baker, Stroud, and Love. I don't know if Love deserves to be this high. I mean, he did make it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And he did look pretty good in the playoffs. But he has a lot to live up to with replacing Rodgers and Favre. So that's the only two quarterbacks in my adult life that I know to play for the Green Bay Packers. my childhood and adult life, those two quarterbacks. So that he has big shoes to fill. So I'm leaving it up. Let me know how you feel.
I feel the same. I think Hurts should be number 5. I don't think he should be any higher than number 5, but I think he should definitely be number 5. Putting Burrow over Lamar. Burrow's been to Super Bowl. He does have a couple of decent wide receivers in Jamar Chase, who won the Triple Crown, and T. Higgins, who was the number 1 receiver, any other team. With the exception of Philly, he wouldn't be number 1 over there. But it's tough to put Lamar and Burrow, only because Lamar, if I got Lamar as my quarterback, I know I'm going to the playoffs. I don't care who's around him. He's going to the playoffs with no one else offensively, with the exception of Mark Andrews. Even though he may have had a decent defense, this wasn't the 2000 Baltimore Ravens with Ray Lewis, Saragusa, and Suggs. It's not that defense. It's a decent defense. I would still have Lamar 3rd over Burrow for consistency. But I'm not upset with Burrow being over Lamar either. I think Burrow, when you're just looking talent for talent, and that's kind of when I look at Hurts too. When I'm looking talent for talent, Jerry Rice is the best receiver in history, right? Is he the best wide receiver if you just take one guy and I'm gonna make a wide receiver? No, I think the best wide receiver ever created was Randy Moss. If Randy Moss got to play with Joe Montana and Steve Young, it might be different. Okay, it might be, and it might not be different because Jerry Rice was extremely durable. He was phenomenal route runner, deceptively fast, does everything right, trains the right way. I mean, so I'm not upset with that. But when I look at Hurts, I'm like, well, is he as gifted as Matt Stafford? No, so I wouldn't put him with Matt Stafford, like you were saying. Is he as gifted as Jaden Daniels? No. But I'd have him over Jaden Daniels because Jaden Daniels only showed me 1 year. Right? He's only shown me 1 year. Could I put him over Jared Goff? Jared Goff's been to Super Bowl and has been really good on 2 different teams. That's tough. I don't like him at number 9. I think he's better than number 9. I'd put him at number 5. But at the same time, at number 9, it depends the metric you're looking at. If we're just looking at Super Bowls or Super Bowl wins or Super Bowl appearances, then yeah, he definitely should be higher. But if we're looking at just that player in terms of his ability to throw the football, read defenses, scramble, avoid sacks, being a leader on his team, the only knock against Hurts would be last year, mid-season, interview with A.J. Brown. AJ, what's wrong with the offense? And his first response, your number 1 receiver says, passing. No receiver's ever said that about Brady, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Burrow, Lamar. And Lamar wasn't a great thrower in the beginning either. Stafford, any of these players, no receivers ever said it was the problem with the offense. Passing. His receivers had no problem throwing him under the bus like that, which I disagree with. I love A.J. Brown as a player, though. Love A.J. Brown. I love the way he plays. And I don't think A.J. was lying either. That is a problem. When your own team is looking at, okay, passing is our weakness, because you got Saquon Barkley running for 2,000 yards, offensive player of the year. You got a defense with, name your favorite defensive player. He probably plays for the Eagles. Okay, that's a lot around you to make you look great. But at the same time, I mean, outside of Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, and Lamar, I don't know if any of those other quarterbacks, the other 8 quarterbacks, or other 7 quarterbacks minus Hurts, could have won a championship the way Jalen Hurts won it, and won a Super Bowl MVP the way he did win it also. So for that reason only, he's my number 5, behind, well, Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, and Lamar.
I have to one comment I have to say about that with A.J. Brown, and I do remember him saying that.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown, I'm looking at you, bro. I'm talking to you, bro. You played for the Titans. What do you know about quarterback play, bro? You played for the Titans. Don't talk about Hurts like that, bro. Don't do that, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, we all know how certain diva receivers are. You come from the Titans. Be thankful where you are at. Please don't forget where you came from.
Facts.
That's my only take on that.
Facts.
That's my only take on it.
Man, that's all I got, man.
Oh, that's all I got too, man. I appreciate y'all tapping in for the Play Action Podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We on all platforms. Please, support your boys. Brandon, I'm here. Colin,
What's up?
appreciate you.
Welcome to the show where the game comes alive. Breaking down the plays, we keep the spirit high. From the field to the mic with passion and flair. It's the Play Action Podcast, your ultimate fanfare.
It's all to boys,